Now today's topic is mass of photon and its dependence. I think many of you may not heard about this, the mass of the photon, but you very well know about the relativistic formula for the variation of mass with the velocity. So we will discuss that what is the mass, what is the experimental value, and what is the limit imposed for the mass of the photon. So now let us see the mass of the photon. The relativistic mass formula. Now this is equal to m0 upon e square root of 1 minus b square upon c square. This is known to us right from the 11th class. Now here, where m0 equal to rest mass or zero mass of photon. Here we will discuss only about the photon and not any other matter particle. And this is our non-zero mass of photon. V, the velocity of photon. C, velocity of light in free space. In free space. These terms are to be very necessary to understand that m0 is called the rest mass or the zero mass of the photon, and m is the non-zero mass of the photon, v the velocity of the photon, and c the speed of the light. Now from this formula we can see m0 equal to m into square root of 1 minus b square upon c square. So let us see that what is the value of rest mass. When v equal to c, the velocity of the photon is equal to velocity of the light. The m0 is equal to 0. You can easily see from this relation that when v equal to c, then this m0 is equal to 0. So rest mass of the photon is always 0. Rest mass of photon is equal to 0. And when this rest mass is 0, then it is moving with the speed of light. So this is the highest speed. Photon being very small or this being the massless particle, because of that it is having so much high value of the velocity. So from here this can be easily seen that as the velocity changes, there will be change in the mass, but rest mass will remain the 0. So when the photon has the mass 0, then its velocity is equal to the velocity of light. Now we can see from here. Now we are again having the formula, the non-zero mass, and this rest mass is equal to 0. It means that the rest mass energy is also equal to 0. So now we have again n equal to m naught upon square root of 1 minus v square upon c square. Now let us see the non-zero mass. When v equal to c upon root 2, suppose the velocity becomes 1 upon root 2 of the velocity of the light. The m, you can see from here, this is now your v upon 2, so it's now 1 upon 2, so it's now root 2. So this is now m naught into root 2. M naught root 2. When what is, suppose v equal to c upon 2, v equal to c upon root 2, then what is happening, that this speed of the photon is half of the velocity of the light. In that case you can see that this is now 1 by 4, so this is now your 3 by 4, so this is now root 3 by 4, so this is now your 2 upon root 3. So this n equal to, then m equal to two n naught upon root 3. This is not so much value. And now you can see when v equal to c, the m is equal to infinity. M is equal to infinity. What you see, that mass is increasing. As the velocity decreasing, mass is increasing. And when this velocity becomes v equal to c, then non-zero value of the mass, that is equal to infinity. So mass becomes infinity when the non-zero mass becomes infinity, when the velocity of the photon is equal to velocity of the light. So we can have the variation of this one like this. This is suppose the 0. Here we take m. This we take now v, the velocity. Here we take m, and here this is now v. This is now 0, and this suppose the velocity v equal to c. At this point v equal to c. This is now lying like this. Then what will happen? Here this m0 equal to 0. So here this m0 equal to 0. Now as the speed increases, m equal to m naught root 2. This becomes, in this way the mass becomes infinity when this v is equal to c. So this graph will be parallel to this m axis, and you can see from here that as the velocity v becomes less and less, with this one. As B decreases, then this M increases. As you can see from this relation, B equal to C upon root 2 and this B equal to C upon 2. And when this B is equal to C, then this mass is becomes equal to infinity. So this is now what? B equal to C. So thus, when the mass changes, then there is the velocity changes, then the mass of the photon changes. Theoretically, recent experiments the non-zero mass M is less than 10 raised to the power minus 18 electron volt per c square. So this is the experimental limit of the mass of the photon. Now, since this mass energy equivalence relation E equal to mc square as given by Einstein in his theory of relativity, that mass and energy are equivalent to each other. The mass can be converted into energy and the energy also can be converted into mass. The conversion of mass into energy can really be seen in case of radioactivity. In there, like the nuclear fission, nuclear fusion, and all these solar energy, in all these cases there is the loss of mass and that is converting into the energy and emitted as a visible light from the sun. So this formula says that when this mass m is converted into energy, then so much energy will be liberated. But by quantum theory, according to quantum theory, now this E equal to h. It means that if so much mass is converted into energy, then this energy will be equivalent to the mass of the photon, that is equal to E equal to h nu, and we have this E equal to h c upon lambda. Now this h is the constant called the Planck's constant, where h equal to Planck's constant and c the speed of light, nu the frequency of photon, and lambda is equal to wavelength of photon. This is the wave particle duality of the photon. Because of that we are having this term, this one. So now just to utilize to these two, this and this. So mc square is equal to hc upon lambda. Now this c will cancel from here, so this m is equal to h upon lambda c. Now h and c both are constants, so this m is dependent upon the wavelength. So now what we have, that this m is proportional to 1 upon lambda. So now if you put the value of h and c, then you can have that this mass can be expressed. So m increases as lambda decreases, and vice versa. This Im decreases as lambda increases. So this is what the meaning of this one, n proportional. So now we can have this m equal to h upon lambda c, and this is equal to, if you put the value of this one and let this lambda equal to x angstrom, so this is now equal to x into 10 raised to the power minus 10 meters. Now x may have any value that I will tell you in some calculation. Suppose lambda equal to your 4000 angstrom, then this x equal to 4000. So you have to put the direct value of this x in this relation, then you will get this m equal to, this is now 6.62 into 10 raised to the power minus 34 upon, this is now x into, this is now 10 raised to the power minus 10, and this is now your 1.3. Now see the speed of light, 3 into 10 raised to the power 8. So now you can have, this is equal to, comes out to be 2.206 into 10 raised to the power minus, this is now 32 upon x. So much kg. So now what we have, this 2206 upon x into 10 raised to the power minus 35 kg. This is what the value of m. So I have told you that this lambda taken like this one, then we will have this value equal to 4000. So directly put the value 4000 and you will get the mass. So from here we can have the variation of mass with the wavelength. So now what we have, that if we take this mass on this side and wavelength on this side, we will get a curve like this. And if we take this 1 upon lambda on this side and this mass m on this y-axis, then this will be a straight line. And if we take the log, suppose this I take log m and this I take log lambda, then this will be a line like this. So these are the sum of the graphs showing the variation of this mass with the wavelength. Now just you see the electromagnetic spectrum that varies from gamma rays to the TV or the radio waves. So now the visible spectrum. In visible spectrum, what we have? This is now your V I B G by O R. This is a background formula. So now what we have? That this, if I write here this now so much, let I write here B I B G by O R. Now its wavelength, suppose lambda B, its wavelength is lambda. So wavelength increases in this side. This now increases. Then what about the mass? When this mass, we take the mass, then this mv, and this is now suppose mr. Then this has to decrease. This decrease. It means that the photon corresponding to this red light have the less value of the mass in comparison to the mass of the photon corresponding to the violet light. Here the wavelength is more, so wavelength is less, so mass is more. So this we can have, that is mv is greater than mr. So thus for different wavelengths we are having the mass of the photon to be different one. So the formula for the mass of the photon, as I have told you, this lambda equal to h upon this m equal to h upon lambda c. And I have also told this one that what is the theoretical, that the recent experiments have put the limit to this non-zero mass that cannot be less than 10 raised to the power, that is less than 10 raised to the power minus 18 electron volt per c square. So this is what the variation of the mass of the photon and mass of the photon in the free space. So when this mass of the photon, when we are having this V equal to c, then that mass is equal to 0. The rest mass is equal to 0. But non-zero mass is not 0. It has some value. So when this V equal to 0, at that stage, this V that will come out to be infinity. This M, the non-zero mass, will come out to be infinity, as I told you by drawing a graph. So that shows the variation of the mass with the velocity and the variation of mass with the wavelength. So this is about the mass of the photon. There may be some more discussion about to this one, so you may also find it from the relevant books and just to study them. If you have any kind of query in this video, you can ask me, and your queries and your suggestions are most welcome. So please write if you have any kind of suggestion or any kind of the query. So thank you very much.